Critical gaps.
Views. Hello, and welcome back to... I'm your host.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
Before I rip into the multiplayer again, I wanted to go over a common criticism that people had about Part 1. I stopped watching after you said you didn't play the single player.
Play the single player and maybe do some research before spending your money on a game.
Play the single player, okay? Kill yourself, you fucking incel cunt. Wait, that last one was probably for something else. So I played the single player, and yeah, it's really good. The story is intriguing, the missions are fun, and it even made me nostalgic for Red Dead 1. I can't really say anything that hasn't already been said by everyone else, but I do have 3 big takeaways I need to talk about. Number 1, the single player is clearly so high quality that Rockstar would have made millions on sales from just word of mouth and reviews alone. They didn't put microtransactions in this game because they needed to, they put them in because they're greedy and they saw how well it worked with GTA 5. Number 2, all the things that bog down the multiplayer like health cores and travel time actually complement the single player. Immersion works when you're by yourself and can take things at your own pace. That's nice. There's a possibility that these mechanics aren't just there to incentivize microtransactions, and were just carelessly ported over from the single player. For that reason, Rockstar has been promoted from greedy scumbags to maybe just stupid and incompetent. And 3, the single player has 2 very distinct feelings. The first is when you feel like a cowboy god who can take on dozens of enemies single-handedly. Yay-ha! The second is when you feel like a sickly geriatric with atrophied muscles, tripping and stumbling over every crack in the ground. Unfortunately, neither of these feelings translate well into PvP mode.
Yeah, that's right. You think I forgot about you just because I was talking about the single player? Fuck no, look at the title of the video. It's called that because I hate you.
Oh, bitch, get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
In single player, the clunky movement and controls aren't a huge deal, but it really hurts when you're in a fast-paced, competitive shooter environment. You're supposed to be a battle-hardened cowboy, but instead it feels like you're controlling a toddler who trips randomly and gets stuck on objects. Falling over is a sure way to die, so it's almost always better to camp or just stand still. If you don't want to play defensively, you can always abuse the melee combat. Sprinting into an enemy begins a grapple. If the attacker mashes faster, they get the kill, and if the defender mashes faster, they break out. But even when the defender wins, it's like, nothing personnel, kid.
NANI? Kyokoku no game o hyakutai! Jama wo suru!
This isn't like a one-time glitch. This happens literally every time I do it. No matter what, if you initiate the grapple, you win. Plenty of other mechanics, like the cover system, just don't work. I wish that I could show you how frustrating it feels to play, but unfortunately, a lot of the gameplay footage doesn't quite capture that feeling. Without playing the game yourself, it's really hard to understand the disconnect between what you are inputting on the controller and what your character does. Meanwhile, the aiming has the complete opposite problem. Red Dead is currently console only, which means auto-aim. In the single player, this allows you to tackle multiple enemies at once, but in multiplayer, everyone has this ability, and every gun is a one-hit headshot, so the flaws of auto-aim start to show. Auto-aim is pretty much laser perfect, so killing someone means auto-aiming and then flicking the joystick up to their head. This process isn't hard. After a few minutes, it becomes muscle memory. Now, this isn't inherently a bad thing if everyone is on the same fair starting grounds. One of my favorite game modes in Halo 3 was SWAT mode. All the guns were one-hit headshots, and everyone spawned with the same gun. This meant that winning was due to your positioning and aiming skills, since auto-aim wasn't very egregious. I know it was a skill-based game mode because I was fucking terrible at it. Red Dead Online fails to meet the Halo 3 standards by incorporating customizable loadouts. The rifles have more range than other guns, meaning you can lock on from farther away. Due to the large open maps, almost 80% of battles involve 2 people, and whoever can get the first rifle shot off wins. Shotguns are very niche, and pistols seem almost useless, so if you haven't purchased a rifle, you're guaranteed to lose. The twitch shooting also exacerbates the problems with clunky mechanics, as one mistake means immediate death. One of the worst examples is manual gun cocking. Sometimes you'll spawn very far away from the battle. You'll spend a lot of time running back towards the action, and even more time getting stuck on in-game objects. Finally, you'll spot an enemy that you have the drop on. You aim and shoot, but your gun doesn't fire because you haven't manually cocked it yet, even though it's your first shot. Apparently, a bunch of illiterate cowboys are actually really good at gun safety. Make sure you got good trigger discipline. We wouldn't want nobody getting hurt. The game also has perks, which completely destroy the Twitch shooter meta. I said before that every gun was a one-hit headshot, but I lied. Every gun was a one-hit headshot until people started unlocking this stupid fucking perk. This perk literally breaks the entire multiplayer mode. It lets your character wear an adamantium hat that blocks the first headshot from anything. Literally every weapon. If you have the hat perk, you're gonna win 90% of every fight you're in, unless the opponent also has the hat perk. The supposed downside is that you take more damage once your hat is off, but since everyone dies in one hit, this really doesn't matter. There's no other perk in the game that rivals the hat perk. Gee, I don't know, that magic hat sure is fancy, but this here perk lets me do more damage if I don't shoot for 15 seconds. There's also a Deadeye mode that blocks headshots, and if you have both equipped, you can survive 2 or even more headshots. The free roam gun problems also affect the PvP. Most of the game modes let you use the guns you unlocked in free roam, but you also carry over the ammo and loadout of your last session. That means you can join a game and only have 20 bullets in your rifle. You know, the rifle you need to have to be on equal footing with everyone else. After that, you just have to play the rest of the game without effective weapons, hoping you might find a pickup. Meanwhile, everyone else buttfucks you because they bought ammo in the pregame lobby. God forbid you forget to equip a rifle, because then you're really useless. This wouldn't be that bad if you could just set your loadout and be done, but it resets after every match. You only have 30 seconds to equip guns and buy ammo before the next game. If you're too slow, the menu literally locks you out. God fucking damn it! On top of the core game being an unbalanced, awkward trash fire, half of the game modes are just terrible. The Showdown playlist has your standard free-for-all deathmatch, which is fine. But then you have things like Most Wanted. It's like Deathmatch, except you get more points for killing people that are higher up on the leaderboard. That means that if you kill the person in first place, you would get more points than if you killed the person in last place. It's a cool concept, but poorly implemented. For the first 3 minutes of the game, you're actually better off not getting kills, because everyone is only worth a few points. If you hold off till the mid-game, you'll only be worth 1 point, but everyone else will be worth about 20. Then, if you get 1 or 2 kills midway through the game, you're actually doing better than someone who got 5 or 6 at the beginning of the game. This is the one mode where I can easily win if I join 6 minutes into the game, or even if at the start I put my controller down to go grab a snack. Another shitty game mode is Make It Count. It's essentially a battle royale mode with a decreasing circle and 1 life. Once you die, that's it. You're out for the rest of the game. For some reason, you can join these matches in progress, which means you just have to spectate the 10 minutes of other people playing. Imagine if you were playing Fortnite or PUBG and you couldn't start a new game until you had watched the previous match finish. In those games, if you die, you leave and start a new one, but you can't choose what mode you want to play in Red Dead Online. Everything is just bundled together into Showdown. You are completely beholden to the mode rotation. So now when you join a playlist, you have to pray to God that you don't have to spectate a 10-minute game or play a shitty mode. I get that it's in beta and maybe Rockstar just wants everyone to test all the game modes, but I really hope that they're collecting playlist data because they'll see that when Make It Count pops up in the rotation, everyone leaves. Some of the modes in Big Showdown are team-based, while the others are 32-player free-for-alls. In the latter, you're more than likely to get killed within 30 seconds of spawning, since there are 31 other players. Even with very large maps, the spawns are somehow too close together. There's a good chance that no matter where you are, someone's gonna spawn behind you and shoot you. There are only 3 fun game modes, and they are Team Shootout, a regular team deathmatch game, Hostile Territory, which is a multi-team objective holding mode, and Name Your Weapon, in which you earn points by getting kills with more skill-based weapons. All three of these are very fun to play with your friends, provided the game actually puts you on the same team, because it doesn't. A lot.
Betrayal.
The third playlist is horse races, and the races, you can race your horse. And finally, while I was making this video, they released Gun Rush mode. It's just like Make It Count, but instead of bows and arrows and knives, you pick up weapons from the ground. It's definitely an improvement, since the matches are over faster and it has its own dedicated playlist. Which means you never have to play it. Wait a minute, where was I going with all of this? Alright, the conclusion. The conclusion chosen specifically to sum up the points of the video. The video's conclusion. So what did we learn here? The free roam mode is a muddled mess that tries to get you to buy microtransactions. You can speed up your progress by playing PvP mode, but it's an unmitigated clunky disaster. The people that can stomach the PvP mode are going to be higher level and have more things unlocked as a consequence. But players like me who don't enjoy it, and newer players, are going to be at an extreme disadvantage because of lack of perks, inferior weapons, or any of the other 1,000 unfair things in this game. And what about the higher level players who put a bunch of hours in the game, bought gold, and accelerated themselves to the apex where they own everything? My friend is actually one of these high level players. He no longer needs money or XP, so he just griefs people. It's super easy when you have a faster horse and guns that are demonstrably better than everyone else's. The game even incentivizes griefing. It alerts you when someone else starts a stranger mission and rewards you for fucking with them. With higher level unlocks like the dynamite bow, it'll take you about 2 seconds to ruin someone else's 10 minutes of progress. Even if you're just hunting, you're not safe from griefing. Certain assholes will camp out the butcher stand. When you ride up to sell your meat, they'll kill or disable you, steal your food, and sell it themselves. Overall, there's a lot wrong with the game right now. There needs to be game mode selection so you don't have to play shitty game modes. The perks need rebalancing so that no one perk defines the entire meta. The guns need rebalancing so that rifles aren't a necessity. And the rate at which you earn money needs to be changed so that you don't have to grind to unlock things. And once those things are fixed, there needs to be more interesting content so that griefing isn't the only option for high level players and new players get the chance to catch up. Some things like the core mechanics and the clunky movement will never be fixed. But the truth is, Red Dead Online has the potential to be one of my favorite online experiences ever. The downsides really do hurt the game, but those fleeting moments where you can ignore them are some of the most fun I've ever had playing video games. Red Dead Online deserves more care, and Rockstar has the chance to prove that they're better than companies like EA or Ubisoft by giving it to us. Thank you all for watching. This is my first review ever, so feel free to leave comments or constructive criticism down below. And if you like my video and want to see more, feel free to subscribe and comment something you might want me to look at in the future, like a game, movie, or anything else.